From the creators who brought you RuPaul's Drag Race and $1 Million Listing, this is World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Well, hello and welcome to the Wow Report.
This is how close my mouth should be?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Right on that thing. You are our special guest, Raja. Hey.
Oh my God.
Winner of season 3.
Yeah, a long
Drag
time
Race. Yeah. Well, oh no, please. And more recently in Stonewall Out Loud,
Yes.
lip syncing Sylvia Rivera.
Amazing. That was a fun
This was
moment.
a World of Wonder project that we did that's on YouTube that basically, give it in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, it's a documentary about the Stonewall riots.
Right.
But so many of those people on whose shoulders we stand have passed on, and there were just these audio interviews, and Raja especially stole the show by lip syncing these original voices. So
Yes, we
Sylvia
had
Rivera.
modern day stars come
Yeah,
in and
there you
lip sync to the actual transcripts from
Yes.
Stonewall survivors
Yes.
and Stonewall
It's on the YouTube.
instigators. Yes, yeah.
But anyway, I'm Fenton Bailey, co-founder of World of Wonder, here with James St. James.
How do you do?
Raja already introduced. Hello.
Welcome to my podcast.
And Blake.
Hi.
Hi. So what are we doing?
Every week we count down the top 10 things that make us go
Wow.
Wowzers.
And well, actually, Tom is you're here for Blake. You're here.
I'm
You were
here
the
for
new Tom.
You're here for Blake.
You were this week's Tom.
You are the
Right.
new Blake.
I am the new Blake. New year, new me.
Because Tom is in New York,
Yes.
working with Rue for
Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live
Oh,
tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
I shot with Raven this week for Toot and Boot, and she was saying that she was going there to do some makeup.
Oh,
And she
yeah.
wouldn't tell me shit. I was like, please
Right.
tell me what.
No,
what's
there's a
gonna happen.
veil of silence. I mean, it's gonna be,
Yes.
what's
but
the
we,
word?
but this
Embargo.
Time, but,
yeah.
but this time next week we will be talking
That's
about.
all we're gonna
because
talk about.
I think it's going to be the top 10 moments from Saturday Night
It is.
Live.
You know it is.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see
I
it.
am
I
too. I
know.
think she's, she was born to be on Saturday Night Live, and it's
Absolutely.
been a long time coming.
Let's throw the preview up on the Wow Report.
Will do.
It's really funny. I mean, for that alone, I'm like, I'm actually gonna go. Me and Randy are gonna
Are you?
go.
Oh,
Yeah.
fun. Oh, good.
I can't wait for Tom to get back and tell us all the behind the scenes.
Well, I just want to know what
yeah,
I
the
want to
tea.
watch Rue and Justin Bieber interact. That to
Wait,
me
Bieber's
is
gonna be there?
The
Bieber's-
Biebs.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
he's the singing guest.
Bieber and the Queen.
I think we got another Netflix show.
All right, let's start our countdown. Number 10, Blake.
Number 10.
Well, I did something this week that was so fun. I went to the Zone
Jealous.
Britney Spears experience.
where is
Yes,
that?
it's at the it's at the old Kmart over on Third
The old
Street.
Kmart.
It is by it's the Zone, Britney Spears. They have like exclusive. I'm just gonna walk you kind of.
Is it like the ice cream museum?
It kind of is, yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah,
it's
I-
all Britney.
And you go through different rooms and recreate different videos
do.
of her.
So you
can film
walk
it.
in, and first of all, Felicia, who was in her, she was like her long time like nanny on the road when she was younger. Like gives you all the rules and tells you how to do everything.
Actual Felicia? It's her
No,
actual.
well, it's actually her. but,
Felicia,
like,
after whom? By
Yeah.
Felicia?
Yeah, is she
Maybe.
there when you exit? You're like, see you later.
Bye, Felicia. No, and then you go into like this little room with, you can open up all the lockers, and every time you do, it's like, oh yeah,
How many times you do that?
20. And then they have like Britney High, and then you go into the Oops, I Did It Again room, which you have like the guy, the astronaut with the ring
Uh-huh.
from the video.
Right.
And then there's a big,
Saw that, yeah.
my favorite room was the blackout room, of course. It was,
What is the blackout room?
well, I'm
Britney
trying to
Spears.
Right.
I'm sure she's
see.
blacked
Here's
out a
here's
few
like
times.
the rooms. Like this.
We'll post
is,
these
Oh my
pictures
God.
on the Wow Report,
This is
right?
the plane from.
Oh, the plane from Toxic.
Toxic. I
Right.
got my photo made, and they have like these little wristbands, the RFID wristbands. You scan them, and you can do like little interactive.
Fierce.
Like I'll post the one of me and Britney dancing to Me Against the Music, where she kisses the wall. You know.
And you're being Justin. Or you're being Madonna.
Madonna, yeah.
Okay.
It is. I would highly recommend this experiment.
How long did you spend?
I spent like an hour and a half.
Wow.
And
Now I don't care about Britney.
How dare you.
Oh my God,
I know. Is there something for everybody there? Will I enjoy it?
I mean, there's Instagrammable moments for everything. It
Right.
doesn't have to, like, this is the In the Zone room with, like, just the In the Zone squiggle from the
Right.
album cover, and that's not really Britney. It's just there's a cool wall where there's wooden I mean, you're going to find a good picture there.
Well, I am going on Sunday, so I'm going to Saturday Night Live, coming back in time to go to the Zone because I got the tickets months ago.
Well, I got in with press. My friend Steven got me in. So I got into the ball pit because it's not all contaminated yet, you know.
Ew. Well, because when we went to the Museum of Ice Cream, and we got into the pit with all the sprinkles. That was 4 years ago. I still find sprinkles in my bathroom, in my outfits, and my
You
carpet.
still have jock rash or some sort of infection, strap infection.
Right.
Gross.
Now, are you taking Nolan? Is this?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
It's
good.
a family
Okay.
outing. I don't think we'll take Elliot. 'Cause
Right.
I don't think he really cares about Britney, but it's going to be a religious experience, I think.
Especially in the blackout room, yes.
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
the blackout room? I want to see the blackout room.
I'll show it to you after this.
Oh.
I have a little,
Is it like the album cover then?
yeah,
Or-
it is. But there's like this prayer window, you know, where you're meant to kneel in front of a stained glass window that says blackout. I have a really good photo of there. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds
Okay.
fun. Are you going to go, James?
Well, it is right down the street from me. It's right down the street from both of us.
And are there long lines outside?
There wasn't when I was there.
But as you drive past,
Well, I mean, because I was on press day.
there's like a 50-foot Britney outside the Kmart, just waving at you as you drive past. It's fabulous.
A reason to live. Fantastic. All right, so that's open April 26th, 6310 West 3rd Street.
The old Kmart.
The old Kmart, yeah. Okay, good.
By the Grove.
All right. Number 9.
Number 9.
Over my lunch break today, I watched something called What Did Jack Do on Netflix. Have you heard about this?
No.
It is David Lynch at his most David Lynchian, okay? It is a black and white sort of film noir. David Lynch is a police detective. He's interviewing a murder suspect, and that murder suspect is a little capuchin monkey, a little talking monkey in a tuxedo, and they talk to each other in these sort of film noir cliches. Nothing makes a lick of sense. It's like Eraserhead meets Lost Highway. You don't know what the fuck is going on. Apparently, the monkey was in love with a chicken, and then he murdered her in a jealous rage. The chicken's name was Tutu Tobin, and the monkey talks in this little weird voice, and it's really creepy.
obsessed.
And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, he breaks into this song, this original song about what love is, and the love for his chicken, and a monkey and a chicken, and this and that. And at the very end, they're about to. He says he breaks them, and he's
Is
like,
this a spoiler alert?
it's kind of a spoiler, but yeah, I guess so. But I mean, it's only 17 minutes. But he's like, what happened? What happened? He was like, I killed her. And then all of a sudden, Tutu Taubin, or whatever her name is, wanders in. The chicken wanders in, and he screams. And then he chases after. And then they say, get him, boys. And then they lock up they handcuff him and lock him up and take him away.
The
17
monkey or
minutes.
the chicken?
The monkey.
Oh, okay.
And this is a film?
It's a film.
And when was this film made?
It was made in like 2015, I believe, and he sort of like showed it at his house, and he showed it to people, and then he's finally it's put us up on Netflix now.
I'm not shaming you, but I love the idea that you found the shortest possible thing to watch so you'd have something to talk about.
Well, actually, I had
This morning.
I had a number of other things to talk about. There was
The Postmates robot.
there was a robot that came to World of Wonder the other day.
I saw the robot on La Brea.
Yes.
I
We did
driving
too,
home.
yeah.
The robot there's a new robot for Postmates, the food delivery,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a robot, and it just wanders up and down the street, and it comes to your place, and then you put your code in, and it opens up and gives you the food, and then you put a tip in, and it goes to the next place. There's nobody watching it.
How big is the robot? Is
it's
it like
about- it-
walking?
It's
or is it-
R2D2 size,
Yeah,
right?
Okay,
it
okay.
goes up to about your nipples.
Okay.
And it crosses
How
the
many
street by
deliveries
itself.
can it make, do you think? Like in one... 'cause
That's what I was wondering.
Wouldn't the
It's
food
not-
get cold? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's basically like a tray or something, so I guess they could stack like airplane.
This is happening in Los Angeles?
It's happening- yeah.
On La
With
Brea
all of our
last
homeless
night.
people on the street, don't you think that
Well,
some
they
of
can't
these
break
robots...
into it. They can't
Are you
do
sure?
anything. Yeah, I mean,
Now there's a film, 17-minute film.
People violating robots and taking Postmates.
Well,
food.
Matt Judge is always posting about robo-sex. He's just obsessed with
Who is?
Matt Judge. It's like almost every week on the Wow Report, on the Drudge Report. There's always
Let's not confuse the two.
Okay.
Are you sure? Food? Sex?
But they have cute eyes.
Yes, they do. Yeah,
like
they're
headlamp
really cute.
eyes.
They look like those little banks that you would put a quarter on, and it would go, and like move its tongue around, like from when you're 5. I don't know.
Anyway.
All right. So, yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
That's on Netflix then, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Number 8.
I was this is crazy. I was in London last week, yeah, and went to see Endgame, right?
Samuel Beckett.
Thank you.
Great
yes.
play that he followed up Waiting for Godot with. This was his.
Right, with Alan Cumming and Daniel Radcliffe. The Harry
didn't know
Potter
Daniel
kid.
Radcliffe was in it.
And it's basically a two-hander. It's just the two of them, basically. I mean, there's 2 other characters who are in dustbins.
There's Ham and
It's actually
Clove, and
slightly
then
lynchy.
Nag and Nell. Nag
Slightly
and Nell are the
Lynchian.
parents. Yes, it is. Well, that's why I put mine before you.
Oh, right.
Because
Oh, right.
if
Brilliant.
you don't know Samuel Beckett, it's bonkers.
It's
It
bonkers.
makes no sense. The plays are almost. Oh, you think that it's post-apocalyptic, but it isn't. It's post-human. It's the post-human experience. It is people crying out from the void, and none of the dialogue ever makes a lick of sense.
No, I don't know how he learned this like 90-minute sequence. It's basically a soliloquy. He basically, Alan says all the lines. He's this old man in a chair.
And he's supposed to be
All the
blind.
lines are non sequiturs. Like there's no. It's not like Macbeth or something where there's a story and
Well, but
it's like-
the story is that the world has ended.
Okay.
And that these are 4 survivors and they're dying and they are trying to get away from each other because they hate each other. But the idea is that you are still, no matter how much you hate somebody in those kinds of situations, hating is better than being alone. And
very damn. I should have talked to you before I saw the play.
and his parents are in the trash cans, and they're trapped in the trash cans, and they can't get out.
Yeah.
and they're dying. It's just crazy.
It's unbelievably bleak, and
Yes.
they're in some sort of basement place. And the first thing that happens
A
is
bomb shelter, maybe?
it feels like that because
yeah.
they keep on looking out the window, but to look out the window, they had to put a ladder up against and look out, and you get the point, the idea. It's a post-nuclear, Holocaust sort of void,
Right.
Barren wasteland.
Is there singing or dancing or
No
anything?
singing,
Oh, that sounds
no
dreadful.
dancing.
It needs like a blackout soundtrack, I think.
It does. And actually, Alan makes it really funny because his whole performance is really kind of gay, and it just breathes, because
Which does
Beckett's
sort of
lines
feel like
are.
that they are a gay couple. Like
It does, yes. Or father-son.
Oh, because also, I mean, like Waiting for Godot is the 2 sitting around waiting for someone who's never going to come, and it's a play about nothing, and nothing ever happens.
Isn't that what 2 people also, like a male and female
Yeah.
character?
Yes.
I remember that.
Nice.
But the thing about Samuel Beckett is, unlike Shakespeare, the Samuel Beckett estate won't let you change anything about the play. So,
Like cutting lines out.
or like how like you can do like a Macbeth in Nazi Germany, or
Right.
something. Like you can't take it out. The directions have to always stay the same, and the reading has to always be the same in the line. So it's hard for people to what people understood in the post World War II doesn't translate into 2020.
I mean, it was still pretty remarkable and intense. And Alan did a solo version of Macbeth. This speaks to your point, where they did the whole of Macbeth. He played every single part in Macbeth as if he was in a lunatic asylum. And it's a brilliant way of doing Macbeth, but at least that you can, I mean, even though it's an amazing achievement to learn the entire lines of an entire play, at least a story and there's characters, and he's doing all these different characters all set in a lunatic asylum. It's absolutely incredible. But this is so much harder because nothing has any kind of, there's no cause and effect, there's no story, and often they're saying the same lines to each other. It's sort of minimalist, repetitive, like a Black Eyed Peas song.
Yes, yeah, it is, and they answer, they talk back and forth in nonsensical, but also
Maybe learning all those lines for Macbeth was good practice for this play. Then,
I think it was. I think it was.
But Alan
definitely
Cummings, I could just watch him do anything. Though.
He's amazing.
So funny.
Yeah,
He's
amazing.
so good.
And then the other thing he does that is so cool is Club Cumming. which is like afterwards he invites people up to his dressing room and he has a full bar up there and he poured me a gin and tonic and I can't really remember the rest of the evening. It
Wait,
was
you,
like,
you got to party with Alan and
went
Daniel?
to the dressing room. Well,
With Monica,
Daniel
right?
wasn't there. Right, Monica would go often. Monica Lewinsky would often go to Club Coming. And then, of course, Club Coming
Oh, you mean
span
this
off.
time?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
the other day
Oh,
you went
wow.
and played.
Right,
That was
yeah,
fun.
Yeah, but now Club Coming has spun off into its own venue in New York
Right.
City. But I went to a Club Coming in his dressing room in London. Which
Oh,
was
I
kinda
see.
chic.
Cool.
Now, who were the other? Were there other VIPs there? Who else?
yes.
Tell us. Give us names.
I couldn't possibly.
No, come on. Nobody's
Was Adele
listening.
there?
Nobody's paying attention.
Let's see. Adele was there.
Harry Styles.
The Queen was there. Harry
Which
Styles.
queen?
Brittany was there. It was really nice. So, and that is playing at the Old Vic in London through March 28th.
And the Old Vic is been there since what, like the 1700s or something? Hasn't the Old Vic
It's-
forever?
I think it's old, yeah, as opposed to the Young Vic, because there's a Young Vic.
Is there?
There is, yeah.
That is funny.
Have you got a question?
I do.
So we'll take a break then.
So all the Kardashians are kind of credited for putting Calabasas on the map, but not really. What was the first big reality show that put Calabasas on the map?
Oh, I know the answer to this. You're listening to the Wow Report on Radio Andy. I just got to say, RuPaul's Drag Race Live is now open in Vegas at the Flamingo. You can get your tickets.
Have you gone?
No,
Roger?
it's
Are
just
you-
open.
Are you planning on going?
I just got home from Puerto Vallarta. I
that's right.
do plan on going.
We do need to talk about that when we come back.
Sure.
We will. RuPaul's Drag Race Live.com. That's where you can get your tickets. We'll be right back after the break.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
And welcome back. Raja, you're our special guest this week.
Yeah.
You just got in from Puerto Vallarta.
I sure did. It was wonderful.
Now you were
How?
doing the your one woman show that you did. You
Provincetown.
debuted in Provincetown. Yes. And what is it? Tell us about the show and what it is.
It's called Lush Life, and it's based on my life and my love for wine. But it's just sort of a celebration about, about life and kind of saying fuck it all, have some fun. The world's falling apart, everything's on fire. Let's just have some fun. Put on a doll look and drink some wine and live.
What I do every night when I get home from work.
When you say an Adele look, what a sort of.
A doll.
A doll look.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking.
You want to look like a doll?
Muumuus and
look like a doll.
kaftans.
Well, she's all snatched now.
I know.
She really is.
So this was your third show that you did, or the second?
This is my third show I've ever done, and it's only the second time I've done it in Puerto Vallarta, which I'm completely in love with. If you've never been,
I've
It's-
never
Never.
been.
Yeah, a lot of I waited for such a long time until last year in March. I was invited to come and completely in love. It's very
It's kind
queer.
of the new Provincetown or
Yeah.
the West Coast.
Your dollar
Provincetown.
goes a long way. There's a ton of Canadians. There's a lot of daddies or men of a certain age,
Nice.
which I completely appreciate. It's not really big on the twink and craziness. So,
Right.
And it's beautiful. Food's delicious. There's beautiful beaches that you can actually go into.
And is the weather nice all year round?
It's usually sunny and beautiful with little sprinkles of rain, notes of rain. But usually in the summertime, our summer, it's very, 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 very hot. It's like sweltering, and you're
right.
you're
That's what I
constantly
like.
sweating. Mhm.
I like that on vacation.
Yeah, you have to put a fan on yourself while you're doing your bowel movements. That's what the Mexicans tell me. They're like, you
what
don't want
happens
to
if
be
you
here.
don't? Like,
You'll just be
You'll
steaming
just
in
be
your
really
own-
hot.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad to
well,
be home.
welcome back. You look so refreshed.
Ooh, I have a doctor that I go to that helps refresh me. It's a lot less expensive.
Can you do the it's crinkle? Oh,
See?
yeah, almost.
I know your face isn't moving at
I
all.
love it.
So before we took a break, we had a question.
Yeah, the Kardashians are kind of known for putting Calabasas on the map, but they weren't the first huge reality show that was based in Calabasas. What was the first one?
Oh wait, was the first one with? I wasn't wearing 12-inch Louboutin heels. I was wearing 6-inch kitten heels.
No, it was not Pretty Wild.
Okay.
I know it was Britney's show with the husband, but I can't remember what it was
her and
called.
Kevin.
Yeah.
No, it was not Chaotic.
Oh.
It was Nick Lachey and
Jessica
Simpson.
Simpson's Newlywed.
Chicken of the
okay.
Sea.
Yes.
Remember what is Chicken of the Sea?
Yeah.
Which leads me right into number 7.
Perfect.
Yeah, sure.
Number 7.
Jessica Simpson's new book.
Open book, right?
Have you heard anything about this?
Strangely, no.
I have been blogging about this every day for the past 2 weeks.
Every day it's a
There is
new revelation.
Yes.
I cannot wait to get this hot tea.
The first one was that she was, sexually abused.
By-
By a neighbor or a family friend's daughter,
yeah.
but she didn't go deeply into it. Like,
But she was saying that was one of the reasons that eventually she ended up having drug and alcohol
Alcohol
problems.
problems.
And then later she
Family
talked
friend's daughter. So it was a lesbian abuse situation.
right.
Right. Okay.
and then she also goes into great detail about her relationship with John Mayer.
And Nick Lachey and Tony Romo.
Oh, right, sure.
She also revealed she had a tummy tuck that she almost died from
Oh,
because
dear.
she wanted to get a what did they used to call it for Victoria Beckham? Mend it like Beckham. After she had the kids, she had the tummy tuck and everything.
Right.
But she almost died because her liver levels were so bad from popping pills and drinking so much.
Dear.
Oh.
Dear. Okay.
But she also
So
delved-
none of us should get tummy tucks.
I was
if
just
we-
gonna
I
say,
know,
like,
oh
I was
dear.
gonna go back to Mexico.
Right. Well, I think your doctor can tell you, but even her doctor, that was the thing. Like her doctor was like, "You could die from this."
Is this her first book?
I don't know.
I think it is. This is the first big tell-all that she's
right.
actually.
She
gone-
may have done, some dumb.
And this sounds really negative, but I thought she'd sort of faded from view. I didn't.
Yeah.
No, the thing about Jessica is that she's made
She's a billionaire.
billions from her shoe line and her
Wow.
clothing line and her makeup line.
I actually found a pair of her shoes, which I never thought would fit me because I have a giant drag foot, but at Nordstrom Rack with my best friend Philip.
They're real. They're cute.
I had
aren't
a pair and
they?
I wore the fuck out of them for like
and
so long.
I see so many people in the airport with her luggage.
Yeah.
Luggage? What?
Yes.
No, she licensed everything, and she's raking in the bucks and doing really well for herself. I was just at Macy's, I think, where they sell, and her and Katy Perry side by side have really cute shoes, really hot, little hot pink, and lime green with
Billionaires.
wings and
Jeez.
funny faces on them. Anyway,
Well, on Nick Lachey, some of the tea spilled. On Newlyweds, she said, "Nowadays we all know how much production goes into reality, but back then people believed. Of course, Nick had nothing to do with any of that, but I wanted people to believe he was everyone's vision of a leading man. The problem is, Nick could hit his mark, but he couldn't improv on lines."
Damn.
well, also just a follow up that Nick is now a billionaire too because he managed to when Ohio made pot
For
legal.
pot, yeah.
He bought a whole huge the biggest pot farm in the country, and is now a pot kingpin, a marijuana
Yes.
kingpin.
Well,
him.
when he and Jessica, when she wanted a divorce, she moved out without telling him. She said he immediately tried to talk me out of leaving him. I wish we were the kind of people who could divorce and stay friends. We weren't, and I regret my actions. And then following their split, Nick dove into his work on his next album and kind of portrayed himself as the victim,
Sure.
Why did she get divorced?
It just wasn't working out. He would go out of town and not answer his phone, Vegas or Miami with his boys, or he would just stay out late to teach me a lesson. He had a group of guy friends who he used to get him into places and enjoy VIP treatment at strip clubs and
Never
bars.
never marry a party person.
Yeah.
That's the rule. Get yourself a little nerd, is what I say.
Oh my god.
And then there's so much more in this book that I can't. I mean, I have Johnny Knoxville, who we share a parking lot with. John Mayer.
I mean, it
Tony
sounds like
Romo.
just such a nightmare, but he was
Who's
just
Tony Romo?
Tony Romo was a
Football
football quarterback for the Dallas 49ers.
Is that the place for ribs?
no, it isn't. But it's a different Tony Romo. They're both Tony Romo.
Anyway, the one that really stuck out to me was she felt dumb when she was with John Mayer. What did she? I was so afraid of disappointing him that I couldn't even text him without having someone check my grammar and spelling.
because he
no way to
he would
live.
make fun of her, and he would always have
And
to.
that led to the alcohol. Too,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
what
that
she
was
said.
another reason why she sort of fell down the rabbit hole because he was such a jerk to her, and I mean, she says this that he always tried to belittle her and make her feel dumb and stupid, like a dumb blonde, and that really hurt.
Like her
me.
role on
Yeah,
Newlyweds. Yeah.
So
But in a way, you're saying she was sort of playing that part.
Kind of.
know,
I mean,
right.
she's a billionaire now, so obviously she did something right.
Exactly, right?
So
Go
the book's out now. I'm gonna be downloading it on my audio.
You haven't read it yet?
Audible. I haven't read it yet. No, it's just out. Like
Oh, right,
midweek.
right,
so
right.
Is it in her voice, you think, reading it?
I hope so.
Please, God.
All right, that's Open Book out now. James, number 6.
Number 6.
Well, in this week's weird news,
How could I love these bits?
you know I love my news of the
Yeah.
weird. There was a haunted Elsa doll from Frozen, and that this woman bought, and she kept trying to get rid of it, and it kept coming back over and over again. What happened was a woman in Houston claims that she is being haunted by her daughter's Elsa doll. She gave it to her daughter in 2013, and it would recite several lines from the movies, and then it would sing "Let It Go." And then all of a sudden, 2 years later, it started talking in Spanish. And it started saying all these weird things that it had never said before. And it started singing these little weird songs that weren't supposed to be programmed on there. They would turn it off, and it would still talk in Spanish. There was a little button in the back, and they would turn it off, and the doll would still talk. So she started getting a little nervous. She started getting scared, and one day she threw it away. And the next day, the doll was back in a wooden bench in the house. And they were all freaked out, and they were like, oh my God, what do we do? So they put the doll in a garbage bag. They wrapped the garbage bag up. They put it in another garbage bag full of garbage at the bottom of the garbage. And then they put that bag at the bottom of a garbage bin. And then they waited for the garbage man to come and watched it take it away. Well, a week later, the doll ended up in the backyard.
No.
And they were like, what? And it was the same doll because there were little markings on it and little marker stains and everything. It was the same doll, so nobody was pranking them. So then what they did was they sent the doll anonymously to someone they knew in another state and didn't say that it was from them. And then they're waiting to see whether the doll will come back.
That's so
or not.
unkind.
It's like Annabelle.
I know so they sent a haunted doll to a friend. And
To a friend.
Oh, yeah, right.
A friend.
But then they did talk to the guy, and he said that if the doll disappears, or that he's going to throw the doll into the lake, the frozen lake or something.
This is not going to end well.
No.
Someone's going to die.
She said, and I just wanted to sort of quote this, they asked her, look, why didn't you just throw the doll into the fire or something? And she says, because it does no good. If there's something in the doll, it will come out. You can't destroy what's inside. Honestly, I don't know if this is any junk is true, but I want the doll off my property. I'm tired of it coming back and hiding in weird places.
Wow. What is the source that you got this from?
Oh, I just made it up.
Annabelle. The Conjuring universe.
I was in a K-hole, and there was a doll in my bed. No, it was in something called Oddity Central that I go to all the time.
Okay.
Do you believe in hauntings? And
Of course I do, yeah.
Do you have? Because I've had a poltergeist in my apartment.
I believe that my apartment's haunted. There are moments when I really feel a presence there, but it's usually when I'm on edibles. Does that mean anything? Or am
Yeah.
I just paranoid?
Well, now
I do believe that there's something. I live in an old building. So
yeah.
there's
Now,
something
years
there.
and years and years ago, I've told you how I believed that there was an elevator
In
in
your
my
closet.
closet that the people from upstairs would come down and watch me. But I was on something else.
But you still have that giant rabbit in your...
Yeah, in the rabbit, there is someone in the rabbit. There is.
What, mummified?
No. There's just this
Victorian Corey.
there is just a spirit, and you see it. His eyes flash every once in a while, and you know that he's trying to say something. But he is my spirit animal, and he is my husband, and he does take care of me. So I have a giant 7-foot paper mache rabbit from like the 30s.
Oh, wow.
It has a
freaky.
particular aspect.
It
that
does.
I
it
would
does.
find a
and I
little
did. For a
challenging.
while there, I had a bunch of chains, and I had to chain him to his
The radiator?
chair. No, I had to chain him to a chair because I'd see him wandering out of the corner of my eye around the apartment. So I had to keep him chained up for a while.
What?
Okay.
Someone called Charles Services.
Moving right along.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Oh, this is one for you, James. The Queen. So Netflix re-released, I guess. Kino Lorber restored, and Outfest, I think, restored this documentary from 1967 called The Queen, which is all about the National Academy and the drag contests that were run back in the days. I mean, this is like before Drag Race. There is, and,
by Mother Flawless Sabrina, who is somebody
Right.
that we've known.
Jack Dorshaw.
Jack Dorshaw. We have interviews with him. We should probably bring them back up again. Fascinating character.
Yeah.
And everybody in this is absolutely fascinating.
it's
Was
amazing.
it?
Have you seen it?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
many times. I actually just watched it because I realized it was on Netflix. So I
Right,
watched
it's before Paris is Burning, right? It's the sort of Paris is Burning before Paris is Burning.
Yeah.
And it's these drag queens, and we were talking about this before. They talk in a very
love that.
specific accent that's very New York, but queens don't talk like this anymore.
Darling.
Yeah.
If I said that to someone, they'd be like, "What?"
Oh no, darling! It's like newsreel talk. Isn't it?
It's
But
a
just
little bit-
the gay version of newsreel.
You know, and I was thinking about this too because the late 50s and early 60s was when television first started showing old Betty Davis movies and Joan Crawford and Jean Harlow, and that's when people, this whole new generation started getting turned on to these old movies, and I think that's why they all start talking in that sort of way.
Transcontinental, or what do they call that accent?
Oh, yeah.
There's a name for it.
Yeah, you've
Oh,
told
like Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah.
Mid-Atlantic,
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, it's also a little Hollywood movie star, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, like Rosalind Russell and
Yeah, exactly.
Kids Girl Friday. But one of the great moments in it
Yeah.
is when what's her name?
Crystal.
Crystal LaBeija
Yeah.
is reading a queen named Harlow.
But she doesn't win. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert. She doesn't win the contest. And I have to say, I was watching the film and I was getting a little bit tired because, they all parade and then they bring out the top 5 and then they take a closer look and then they take a closer look. I'm like, good God, when is this going to end? And it ends with the winner. And then there's this amazing scene at the end where Crystal LaBeija just loses it.
Yeah.
And it's
Classic.
like,
One of the
yeah,
great
it's
reads, one of the great drag
fantastic,
queen reads
right.
of all time. And then we were talking the other day too about how the woman Harlow, on the other end of the reading, is still alive. And
Oh, is she?
she's a transgender restaurateur in Philadelphia, I
Right.
believe.
Interesting.
And she had an affair with Grace Kelly's brother, and she opened all these, and she was a huge star, like a huge big star in the Philadelphia scene. And she's probably in her 80s now, but she's still around.
I noticed in the film that her hair, she had a bob on, but what she did was she kind of moved it to the side where it was like crooked, so it went behind the ear, and then the other part of the bob went. I look at those weird
Brilliant.
details.
I had a weird conspiracy theory that it was actually Andy Warhol because Harlow is an
Right, it
anagram
could've
of
been.
Warhol, and she looks so like Andy. I felt.
Wasn't
Young
he in
Andy.
that movie as a judge?
He was supposed to be.
Yeah,
They
he's
went-
referred to in it. They say something about Mr. Warhol. Or
Mr. Warhol.
They went to go find him at the Electric Circus, I believe.
Right, and he didn't show up.
Yeah.
Or didn't.
Well, I think that film is really important because we use a lot of words and things that come from Paris is Burning and old things. But you know how we say today, how we say tonight,
Yes.
tonight, oh tonight.
Oh,
I
not
think
on tonight, honey.
Yeah, that directly comes from that scene.
Okay.
She wasn't beautiful. I didn't say she wasn't beautiful. She wasn't beautiful tonight. You know.
Also, I'm wondering if she's a model. She's she's like that
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing is very Crystal LaBeija. I think she is an icon for the ages.
Absolutely.
And she teaches the kids.
She's the mother. The
Yeah,
absolute mother.
She teaches us how to read. She teaches us how to be a finger snapping bitch.
One bit I loved was when before the contest starts, that Jack is saying, telling the queens that if they remove an article of clothing, that they have to tell them because if you take a duster off, a page will hold it. And I was like, what is she talking about? So I guess the duster is your mink stole or your wrap, and a page is like a little
Like an
page.
a guy,
intern.
a boy,
Yeah.
who's gonna like come and take it off you because they didn't like queens disrobing and just dropping it on the floor.
Well, probably during that period too is when you had to have a male name in your name, and you had to have one piece of male clothing, or else you'd be arrested.
So that would be the duster.
Probably, yeah.
And she said, it's gayer for you and 1,000,000 times better for the audience. If you take your duster off, wait for a page to take it. So I think we could learn from that.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. The Queen, yes, it's currently streaming on Netflix.
Yes.
Should we take a break?
Let's do it.
All right.
Jessica Simpson, who we spoke of earlier, her new book comes out, or is already out.
Yeah.
She spills the tea. She turned down this major role because they wouldn't take out the sex scene.
I remember, yeah.
What was
like it was
it?
yesterday.
You're listening to the Wow Report on Radio Andy, Sirius XM. We'll be right back with the answer.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. Fenton here with Blake, Raja, James. We're counting down the top 10 things that make us go, wow. James?
I did just want to say that in addition to Jessica's book, we also have a Wow-lebrity who had a book come out this week.
Yeah.
Ross Matthew has his book called
yeah.
Name Dropper.
Name Drop. Yes.
Name Drop?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And
Where
there's
he
a
spilled the tea on Barbara
Barbara
Walters.
Walters.
And today, this week, he did it about Matt LeBlanc and Matthew Perry were rude to him too on the red carpet. Yeah. Well, he gets his revenge.
Yeah. And so now, Blake, tell us the answer to the question.
The question is, Jessica Simpson turned down this major role because they wouldn't take out the sex scene. What was the movie?
Well, because she was a virgin. That was her big thing.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have to fuck in a movie.
No. But the role was in The Notebook, and it was Rachel McAdams' role that eventually went
That's
to.
right. She
Yeah.
just revealed that in her book, too.
Wow.
But you already knew that.
I did.
Oh.
Because I'm the biggest Notebook fan on the
And
planet.
Jessica Simpson.
Yeah.
She's a Simpsonite.
Is the Notebook like the Bridges of Madison County?
Yeah, same author, I believe.
Oh, really?
It's a beautiful, and Ryan
Gosling.
Ryan Gosling has never been handsomer.
Yeah, it's hot.
Just
Very hot.
beautiful to watch.
All right, so let's carry on counting down this top 10.
Number 4.
Thank you.
Number 4.
That's me.
Oh.
Last week I saw The Turning. So I've been going to PG-13 rated movies with kids that are dropped in the middle of February, so you don't have to.
What is this? What is The Turning?
Well, The Turning I talked about last week.
was
That
The
was The
Turning of
Turning
the
of the
Screw.
Screw.
Right. Yes.
This week I went to see Grimm's Fairy Tales, Gretel and Hansel.
Can't wait.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about this one.
Oh,
Why
it
did
looks
they
so
reverse
good.
it? Why is it
Well,
to be
in
Hansel
this
and
one,
Gretel?
well, I'll get to that. This stars Sophia Lillis, who is the little girl from It, and It Too, the new,
Which
the newer
little girl?
It, the Beverly what's her butt in the It movies, the new
Did she
It
get
movies.
eaten?
I don't know. I never saw the second one.
No. In this, does she go into just the witch put her in the oven?
Well, I'm getting to that. God.
Well, take your time.
Jesus. So this was directed by Oz Perkins, who is Anthony Perkins' son.
Interesting. Okay.
He's directed a few horror films and done some acting. It's beautifully shot. Like, it's really pretty. The little
I
kid.
see the red smoke coming out of the
Yeah,
chimney.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Well, I mean, it's a
metaphor?
blood. Yeah.
Oh, blood.
Yeah.
Bloody smoke.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Alice Craigie. You might know her if you saw her.
Love me some Alice Craigie.
She was the Star Trek Borg Queen. Do you know what that means? I didn't. I thought you watched Star Trek.
I've watched some episodes.
Anyway, she was amazing as the witch.
Oh, okay. She has really fabulous outfits, doesn't she?
Well, she has one outfit, and you would probably love it too.
Yeah.
You probably would too. And she has these black fingers. They're really cool. It's like just right here. It's black.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen people dye the tips of their fingers. Rick Owens is.
Yeah, Michelle LeMay.
Michelle
Yes.
LeMay, yeah.
But do you remember the witch of WeHo? Maybe was her name.
Of course.
Yeah, and she would wear the little black.
I shot a scene for my music video where I kind of
Oh, yes, you were
emulated a
doing
scene
her.
from
Yes,
her.
yeah, and that's who she
Wellington
reminds
Witch
me. The Wellington Witch here in Hollywood, and that's who she sort of
I've
reminds
never
me
heard
of.
of her.
Oh,
Y'all will have to tell me about her later.
Yeah.
So the reason it was switched, Oz Perkins, son of Anthony Perkins, said this: it was awfully faithful to the original story. It's got really only 3 principal characters, Hansel, Gretel, and the witch. We tried to find a way to make it more of a coming-of-age story. I wanted Gretel to be somewhat older than Hansel, so it didn't feel like 2 12-year-olds, rather a 16-year-old and an 8-year-old. There was more of a feeling like Gretel having to take Hansel around everywhere she goes and how that can impede on one's evolution. How our attachments and the things that we can love sometimes get in the way of our growth.
Well, now I have a book called. I can't even remember what it's called, but it's about how everybody, when they're growing up, has a fairy tale that they attach themselves to, and that fairy tale is sort of how you pattern your life. It's everyone has certain problems that they face, whether
Right.
it's a step parent or whatever, and so you latch onto a certain fairy tale, and that's sort of how you identify with yourself. And when I realized that I am a Hansel and Gretel because I'm adopted, my parents cast me out into the forest, and the witch is, like a sort of a supplemental mother figure, but it's also the house is like if you have like an oral fixation,
Right, yeah.
eating the thing like that. So there is so much about the Hansel and Gretel.
And
myth.
you're a cannibal.
And you eat children. Mine was Pinocchio when I was growing up. I still have a Pinocchio obsession.
Well, I wonder what that says.
I think it has something to do with the whole real boy thing.
Oh,
I really do. I was obsessed with it. I would put like little things on my nose and walk around the house like that.
There's
It was
also
really-
daddy issues in Pinocchio, I imagine,
Interesting.
and there's also probably lies. Were there lies in your household or?
I
or
also like
things-
the idea of where the boys are like where they all go to Treasure or
Yes.
Pleasure Island, and I like the Blue
Well,
Fairy.
that's your
yeah.
and
the Blue
that's
Fairy.
Provincetown.
Yeah.
Your boys finding pleasure.
Well, it's in movie theaters now, and I would go see it just because it was like beautifully shot.
Can't wait.
Okay.
James, number 3.
Number 3.
Science.
Oh no!
I don't know
Wait. Wait. Before you go there, it says here Starbucks ad.
No. I've decided.
Oh
not to.
my
You know
God.
how she is.
I watched the Starbucks ad. I
Well, it's-
wept and
it's
wept.
so beautiful.
It
I
is.
have
Have
to
you
see it.
seen?
I keep
oh
seeing it on
my
my
God!
scroll.
Talk about Starbucks just a little bit.
Well,
because it is so.
I think it's the
I just was
a British
crying.
Starbucks ad, I believe.
It is,
It's
yes.
about a little trans boy who is being dead named consistently. His father introduces him by his dead name. He gets a phone call from a credit card company, and they do it. And he finally, and it's very debilitating to be dead named, which is the process of being given. People call you by the name that you were assigned at birth rather than the name
Right.
that you have chosen for yourself. And he finally goes to Starbucks, and he says, "They say, what's your name?" And I'm getting.
I know. I just.
And he says,
I just
he
burst
says
into
James,
tears.
and they write James on the cup, and it's just this moment of
Aw.
pure joy.
He has his name on the.
Yes,
that
where,
he
where
is
somebody is
chosen.
finally acknowledging
And it
his real
says
name.
every name tells a story. It's like,
Yeah.
Oh
and
my
it's,
God, I have
it's-
chills.
it
That's
is
so sweet.
brilliant because you think you're watching, you think you know what it is the way it's set up.
Yeah.
Like, because it's a boyish looking.
It's a boy. It's a trans boy.
A trans boy.
Yeah.
But
But-
they keep on using the dead name. You don't realize till the very end, isn't it? Just brilliantly done that you don't
Yeah.
realize till the very end.
The dead
what-
name, and
Yes.
we shouldn't say that the dead name is Gemma, and they keep
Gemma,
saying
right.
Gemma. This is Gemma. This is Gemma, and you just see the frustration in his face
Yes.
as he keeps doing.
And
that.
then when he says James,
It's
just
it really
really.
is. It's a beautiful ad.
It is.
And
Has it been very controversial? Or?
No, but it is. It's getting a lot. It's won a lot of. It's won a bunch of awards, and it's been embraced by the LGBTQ community.
Right, yeah.
But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I wanted to talk about how science reveals that Robert Pattinson is the handsomest man
I
in the
saw
world.
that.
And it's this gentleman. It's a man called Dr. De Silva, who runs the Center for Advanced Facial, Cosmetic, and Plastic Surgery in London, and he goes back to the Greek ideals of the golden ratio, which is that everything has to be sort of symmetrical.
In a certain proportion,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that the closer you are, you get a number for everything, and the closer you get to this certain number is the more beautiful you are. And they say that Robert Pattinson here. And he really is. I think he's sort of wonky looking. He's got a big forehead. He's got weird eyes that are like sort of lizard-like.
But that's not the most flattering picture you're showing us,
No.
James.
He did lose some points because he has thin lips, but they say that it's because of his jawline, that he has a spectacular
Oh, he
jawline.
does.
And it's one of the best jawlines in Hollywood. Coming in second is Henry Cavill. I don't have a picture
Now
of him.
that I can
I could
see.
totally, yeah.
Yeah.
Henry's beautiful.
Then after
Totally.
that is...
One person on here really shocked me.
Oh yeah, there's Henry Cavill. Very quickly, I mean, we'll put this picture up.
Wowzers.
Yeah, I mean, he's just very classy, old Hollywood handsome. But then they have Bradley Cooper, who I frankly don't see.
Oh, I think he's cuter than Robert.
I think he looks like Angela Lansbury.
What?
Yeah.
He can give me pink eye. I don't mind.
Brad Pitt
Yeah,
still to
definitely.
this day.
Yes,
Absolutely.
of course.
Yeah,
always.
who's getting better and better. Kanye, George Clooney.
Kanye. That is crazy.
Yeah, I know. Hugh Jackman, who I think has a big nose and I squished up a little face. I don't see it. But But then
He's
also,
handsome.
But then Idris Elba, who is one of the handsomest men on the planet. And I
Very
think I've
handsome.
mentioned this, that I just realized that when I was doing The Door at Limelight for 5 years, Idris Elba was my
Security guard.
Was my security guard. My
No
bouncer.
way.
Yeah. And
He also used to work with Vin Diesel,
Vin
right?
Diesel was another one of them. Yeah.
James.
But I just because I remember Idris. I mean, I didn't remember it was Idris Elba, but then I saw him in an interview and he was talking about his days as a bouncer in New York, and I went, "Oh my God, it's Idris!"
There you go.
No way.
Anyway, so I managed to squeeze 2 in there.
I remember Tyra Banks used to talk about that whole mathematics.
Yeah, and
About,
she
like,
certainly
how
doesn't.
eyes are spaced and the way like your nose is positioned and stuff.
She couldn't get it. She couldn't beat the golden ratio. Her forehead is like that, and her eyes are like, I mean, I love her to death,
She
but
couldn't give us pink eye.
Number 2.
Number 2, pandemic. Speaking of pink eye, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
we certainly are.
This is a Netflix doc series.
I almost
Oh.
watched it, but
I thought
was
you were
too
going to talk
scared.
about your trip to China.
Well, I'm not going.
Or I'm supposed to go to
But,
Thailand, and my trip was canceled also. I was
Right.
flying on China Airways, and they canceled the
Good
whole
luck
thing.
getting a
Now,
plane.
Yeah.
I was trying to get
With
some.
a stop in Wuhan.
Oh,
On our way to
really?
Thailand, and they were like, "Nope, you can't come."
I was
So-
going to get some new merchandise for for DragCon, and a lot of it is made in China. And they said all those factories have closed down, and you have
That's
to,
absolutely right. In fact, we were making a scented candle. This candle smells like my charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent candle. And
not happening.
not happening right now because they
Held
can't-
up.
Yeah, held up.
Anyway, so this document, or it's not a documentary.
Pandemic, but it's
Yeah.
related. It's coronavirus adjacent in the sense that it's about a pandemic and what the chances are and the inevitability, in fact, that it's going to happen sooner or later. And what was I mean, it was really interesting because I didn't know this, but the outbreak of flu in 1918 at the end of the Second World War.
One of the worst.
I mean, World War One was, a mass of dead bodies. I mean, incredible slaughter, the likes of which we've never seen before.
Oh, is that the reason why
But-
the flu?
No, but 1918's outbreak of flu killed more people than in the
yeah.
entirety of World War One and World War Two combined.
Wow.
It was something like 1 out of every 4 people died or something
Yeah.
on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, the chilling thing is that brand of flu just burned itself out. I think it killed 90 million people.
It killed
And-
Lady Mary on Downton Abbey. Not
all
Lady
right.
Mary, the other one. Remember the?
I've never seen Downton Abbey.
But then this was a time really before airplanes, before international travel.
Oh, so
And-
it still managed to spread. And can you
Exactly.
imagine how it would spread now?
Well, exactly. That's
Yeah.
my second factoid for you is that in 2014, 2016, remember the Ebola outbreak?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the biggest Ebola outbreak of its kind. I think 30 to 50,000 people were infected. Well, compare that with the 2009 swine flu outbreak, which, what is that, 10 years ago, 11 years ago? Infected 2 billion people in 12 months. Now, fortunately, it wasn't as lethal as the 1918 outbreak.
Right.
But if it had been,
Yeah. Well, now what about the avian flu? When was that? Remember?
well, right, that's bird flu.
I think that was the early odds.
SARS. And then
Yeah.
after SARS came MERS. And now we
Right.
have coronavirus. And the good news about coronavirus is it's not that lethal. It's like a
Right.
2 to 3% lethal,
Right.
much less
But
lethal.
the scary thing about it though is that the way it transmits is through eyes.
mucus.
Yes.
And so it's not just you can wear the mask, but that's not really going to help you, right?
Right. Have you seen these pictures of people with plastic, those like plastic water bottles over their heads?
I've
Yeah.
seen all kinds of things.
And
Yeah.
I guarantee that in this time in 3 months, we're all going to be coming to work at World of Wonder with water bottles on our heads.
Well, good luck finding masks because they're sold out everywhere.
I do have some masks from back in the SARS days that I had been hiding. in
Will
my-
GIMP masks work?
I'm just gonna wear like a tea back underwear, just like a thong. on my face.
And then you say, "I am Bane."
Or half
Yeah.
a grapefruit, apparently. That's what they're also people are modeling, half grapefruit.
Really?
Scooped out, yes.
Smells good.
So this is a 3-part doc series, and one of the interesting things about it is this guy is trying to develop a universal flu vaccine. And his idea is they'll take every strain of flu over the last 100 years and create a vaccine out of that will basically make you immune, because the thing about flu is every time it comes back, it's changed.
mutates.
It's a rapidly mutating
Yeah.
virus. And they think that if they do all 100 years of flu, they'll basically anticipate most variations. But who knows? Anyway, if you want to scare yourself, go watch Pandemic on Netflix. 6 1 hours. Yeah.
Well, remember that there was a movie. I can't remember whether it was Planet of the Apes or it was that one with Gwyneth Paltrow.
Outbreak.
And at the very end, you see the guy get onto the airplane, and then you just see the map of the airplanes of like he goes here, and then it goes like 20 things go there, and then 40 go there, and you just see the virus spread throughout the world in the course of like an hour.
Yeah. Okay, we're doomed. Meanwhile, Drag Race season 12 is coming towards us 3 weeks away.
3 weeks from today.
Yeah, February 28th, right? Yeah, on VH1.
And this one will be returning with a fashion photo review for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
We've already started shooting it, which is really, really unfair because I get to see all the outfits way ahead of everyone.
But you can't
I don't
talk
know-
about it.
I can't talk about it, and I don't know what the context of the story is. I don't know how these people, who they are, what their characters
Which
are.
is actually better.
I'm
'cause
excited.
You're just judging the outfit, right?
Yeah.
But now, do you have an early favorite? Do you see? Are there a couple people that you're like?
I do.
Yeah?
Yeah, I definitely, in my mind, I already see like at least a good top 4.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I won't even say.
We'll
Yeah.
watch Fashion
No.
Photo Review when it comes back on Wow Presents Plus
Yes,
and find
please.
out.
With Raven.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll reveal the number one thing that made us go, wow.
Whoa.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. I'm Fenton, here with Blake and James C. James, and our very special guest, Raja.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you. So I have one thing for number one this week.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
What is that?
I tore it up.
One of the most iconic moments of the Trump presidency.
So fucking
I
good.
love it. You know, it's Nancy Pelosi at the State of the Union, in which he, first of all, when they walked in, he refused to shake her hand. Remember, so it got off to a bad start.
Well, let's be fair here. Who started the hostilities? He did.
Yeah.
It's no good just sort of positioning us as like Nancy ripped up the speech. He was really rude to her, right?
Yes.
Right.
And then, you know, the whole speech is just filled with lies and just nonsense, just utter nonsense and patting himself on the back and this and that. And so at the very end, she rips up the speech on camera, and the Republicans went bananas on the Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. People were just like...
So the Republicans went bananas. Like, it's like, how...
And one of the Newt Gingrich was one of the people who came out and said, "This is disgusting. I've never seen anyone act this way before." Newt Gingrich, remember, called Chelsea Clinton the White House dog when she was 14 years old. He shamed some girl for wanting contraception. He was cheating on his wife who had cancer, and he left his cancer-ridden wife to be with his fourth wife or something, Callista.
Well, and let's not forget making fun of the special needs reporter and the
well,
grab him by the pussy.
Right.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking about this was Newt Gingrich who was making fun.
Well,
but
yeah.
Newt Gingrich has no place.
No way.
But I think what Blake is saying is Republicans generally commit offensive acts first and then point the finger at anyone who does...
tore up a piece of paper.
Or wears a tan
full
suit.
of lies.
What time of year was it?
Exactly,
Obama wore the tan suit?
Yeah. Obama.
Right.
Or Michelle Obama showed her shoulders.
Right.
Before Melania showed her tits.
Exactly. Yes. So, and I love Nancy Pelosi. I wish to God she could be president. I think she is so classy and gorgeous and smart as a whip. Everything she does is just
And
fantastic.
intimidating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
The
think
woman
she's
is
the
like-
one person that Donald Trump is like truly afraid of. There's that great picture of, remember, where she's doing this, she's standing up and pointing at him.
Or she's going like clapping, doing the clap.
Right, but this was a meeting of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all like cowered, looking, and Trump is like looking at that, and she's just standing there doing that, and it's just one of the great photos. I mean, she's so cool.
Because she said then at that time, because with you all roads lead to Russia. And
yeah.
which is where
She knows
exactly,
what's going on.
Exactly where we are.
I mean, I'm enjoying the theatrics of it all. I don't really follow politics as much as I really, really should follow politics, but I think, I mean, it's, you know.
Well, it's either all or nothing because
Yeah.
it's a commitment to every single day do another outrage and to feel defeated every single day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is better to just turn it off.
Yeah,
and
don't
go
let
about
it
your
suck you in because
Yeah.
it is like a dark place.
Because I will go home and watch Rachel,
Right,
and,
exactly,
and
yeah.
then Chris Cuomo, and then
then you're all fired up.
Uh-huh, Don Lemon, and then all of a sudden it's 2 a.m. and I'm furious and tweeting
Spinning.
out. Uh-huh. So I mean, it is better. My sister just watches Bravo, and that's it. She doesn't watch the
Yeah.
news. She doesn't know anything that's going on, and she's happy.
Yeah, but
So-
we are so fucked.
Yeah,
We're fucked.
Totally fucked. I mean, it's like, yes. Thanks for tuning into the Wow Report on Radio Andy Sirius XM. Raja, thank you for joining us.
Thank
Yes.
you, thank you,
Come
thank
back
you.
anytime.
Please, I would love to be here. I love joining you guys.
Oh, thank you. We love having you. James, same time, same place next week.
Here we go.
Okay.
Yes.
Until then, go out and do something that makes the world go
Wow.
wow.